Hello, welcome to Inner Growth. This is Wendy Rodriguez, and welcome to my healing journey. I am super excited to get started and to speak on a numerous amount of hard topics and share my self-reflection throughout all the adversity I've faced. My intention is to create a community of like-minded people that empower one another to know their greatness and to discover their true strength and identity in this world. I am so grateful to have all of you watching and hungry for change. Thank you for your time. And remember, being free is exactly who you are meant to be. Many blessings. Everyone, welcome to Inner Growth. Healing is a journey. I'm Wendy Rodriguez, and I'd like to speak to you about loneliness and a little bit of labels. So what I want to start with is that, first things first. I'm supposed to be at work right now, but someone no-showed me. And I haven't been no-showed in so freaking long. And I'm just gonna let you know, anybody that has a hairdresser out there, don't ever no-show people. Please don't. The message is so appreciated. If you just send a message and say, I won't make it, will be awesome. Because then we'll know that we can schedule someone else or just not go into work if you're definitely not gonna show up. So be considerate, be kind to others, and literally let people know, okay? Okay, promise. Okay. So loneliness. About 2 years ago, I was in a relationship and I decided to remove myself from family. And when I say family, I think it's a label, right? So you put a label up for family, you put a label up for dad, mom, sister. And so with that label, you end up writing in your head like things of who you think that they should be, all these expectations. Mom, she needs to be this and this and this. Dad, they need to be this and this and this. And then we forget that without the labels, they literally are just human beings like every single one of us. And so without the labels, you can find more compassion for them, which will then find compassion for yourself, and then you'll just have love all the way around. Makes it a lot easier to find love and compassion for other people if you take that title away from what they should be or shouldn't be, or how they should act and shouldn't act. Everybody has their own experience. Everyone has their free agency to act how they want to act, and not just because you say that they should act a certain way is definitely full of what they should do, you know? And so just always remember that labels, honestly, to me, they restrict relationships to feel like they have to, follow these certain rules in order to fill that little title that somebody puts on there, right? And so at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we are all living our own trials and our errors, and so just have compassion for one another. Back to the point of what I wanted to say and talk about was loneliness. So about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, I decided to remove myself from the title of family, right? And so I felt like I had a lot of work to do with myself and with the relationships that I now would like to have with family, and the boundaries that I wish to have with each individual person because of the pain and hurt and anger and sadness that I did have with certain people in my family, that I definitely felt like it was the best for me to remove myself, work my things out, and then come back when I was ready. And so that's what I did. And with loneliness, I listened to this podcast. One of my friends shared it with me. Loneliness, there's 3 different levels. First one is you feel lonely because you don't have intimate partner, intimacy with anybody. It doesn't have to be sexual. It could just be honestly like having that same connection with someone. The second one is you feel lonely because family and friends, there's just no support. You don't feel like you have loved ones or whatnot. The third one is that you feel disconnected with your career of choice, and you also feel like you don't have like-minded people that share the same interests that you do with the same purpose of life. Those are the 3 levels that he talked about. So about a year and a half ago, I felt the loneliness of not having a family because I decided to remove myself from family. And it wasn't so much that I cut people out completely. It was, I stopped going to family gatherings. I stopped telling my family absolutely everything that I was doing. Before, I feel like I would share to the world my personal issues with my relationships, with partners, with friends, with family. I would share. The diagnosis was a huge one. I would literally spill my guts out about that over and over and over and over and over again. And if you have 10 clients a day, you literally say all day, every day. So the more you use a certain connection and wire in your brain, the more the memory is going to stay vivid, right? Over and over and over again. So my belief is like, you talk to your hairdresser about a breakup, right? And you talk about that breakup for 6 years every single time you go. Like, how are you able to ever get over it if you continue to talk about the painful? Because that's all you're going to start feeling. Feeling is a lot stronger than words. Words definitely trigger a feeling, but at the end of the day, the way you feel will surpass any type of words. And so that's what people become addicted to, is a feeling. And that's what addictions was when I talked about the emotion, that you become addicted to feeling angry or this and that. So anybody can say any type of words and you just are addicted to having that anger or having that sadness or having, And so feelings are huge. They're huge, huge, huge. And loneliness is a type of feeling. And you literally will do anything to run away from fear or to get love. And so once you start feeling that loneliness, it really drives you to do certain things that you honestly, logically would think, I would never do that. Or I would never act that way, or I'm not that person. There is no rhyme or reason with loneliness. I would never wish this upon anybody, because I feel like it drives you to do some things that you literally just wouldn't. So I removed myself from my family. I felt lonely. I definitely did. And on my 25th birthday, I decided that I was going to spend it alone. I didn't want to have a huge party. And guys, I love fucking birthdays. My birthday especially. I am such a party person. Like, I love parties. I love celebrations. I literally, if you do something just super minor, I always am just like, we should go celebrate. Let's go to dinner. Let's go do this. I love parties. So for me not to have my 25th birthday party and not have it with my family would be, oh, what are we going to do? And I was like, nah, I just want to do things like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be by myself. And I didn't spend it with my boyfriend. I didn't spend it with anybody. I went and did my own thing. It honestly made me feel the most lonely ever. And it was almost like a trial run for myself to feel like, can I be alone and be fine? Especially during a time that it's celebration and everything like that. I was honestly always an advocate that felt like you had to do everything for yourself, because to rely on other people, you had that option that they might leave you. And because of the trigger that I had with my parents splitting up and my mom not being in my life, my biggest fear was getting left by people that were supposed to love me or that were important to me. So to avoid all that, I'm avoiding the fear, right? I'm trying to do everything I can to not have that fear or that feeling. I wanted to feel like if I can be alone, then no one can hurt me. There's nothing that anybody can do if I can be alone. And so I was trying myself out and being like this, but the more I realized throughout this entire year is that the more you connect with people, the more that we are all literally working together, you just have you just feel fulfilled. You can do everything yourself. I'm not saying you can't. It's not impossible. You can do literally everything by yourself. But to have the core emotion of just peace and happiness and blissful and joy, I just definitely advocate that you do it with people. You do it with people that you love, that you care about, important people that share the same interests that you do, like-minded people. It's just a whole different type of feeling, and it's more whole than it is just you, a little, So I felt lonely 2 years ago, and I just felt like I still had the support of my boyfriend at the time, and I had a career that I loved. And so nowadays, about a couple months ago, my roommate moved out And so before it was like I would come home and talk to someone and be fine. And now it's like I come home and there's no one there, right? I still have friends, I still have family, I still have everything. But to not have someone physically there was something different for me. And so I started feeling the loneliness. I started feeling like I didn't have intimacy. Intimacy for me doesn't, it's almost like 90% of the time doesn't mean sexual when I say intimacy. It means that I literally can connect with someone and talk to them about anything that I want and feel connected to them and that they care and this and that. Like, and it's so different from having a connection with your family because there's the 3 different levels, right? The intimacy with a partner and the intimacy and the family dynamic, and then the third with your career and your life's purpose. So I was missing that intimacy with someone, a partner, someone. And then I realized that the career choice that I had made just honestly wasn't fitting my lifestyle anymore. I know that hairdressing is amazing and I definitely feel like I do a great job at it. I just know that my purpose in this life is to be a motivational speaker. I honestly don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I just know that I wake up every single day wanting that more than anything in the entire world. And the reason that I even started all of this inner growth things is because one morning, I guess you should say, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, literally wrote down all the classes that I was going to do, how they were going to sit, how the chairs were going to be. It just came to me, and ever since that day, I literally can't not think about it. I always think about what am I going to do to help everyone else feel like they're empowered, and to like, how am I going to change my experience to help other people feel like they can do it. And so I know that this is definitely the right path that I need to take. Again, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but these are the couple of steps that I'm doing to get there. So that's beside the point. I just felt like now with doing a career that I've been doing for about 8 to 9 years, you feel that just like, oh shit, like now what? Like I don't feel like this is my passion anymore. So now what? So now I feel lonely with the career choice because I don't have anything that's aligning with my life's purpose anymore. And now it's something completely different. So I feel lonely in the fact of I'm doing something that I don't necessarily want to do as an end goal, and then I don't have the intimacy, and I still have a family. I feel like I started introducing the family a little bit more. But having those 3 different levels not be full, you definitely feel lonely. Like you feel it. But I think that I'm working through it and I'm working with it. And so it's a lot better that way. I think that we should all have self-compassion for ourselves for maybe doing different things that you're just like, shit, like I shouldn't talk to my ex, I shouldn't have called my ex, I shouldn't have, done this, I shouldn't have done that with people that I don't even like, or I don't even like really want around, or why do I stay with this friendship? She's the worst, he's the worst. Like, have self-compassion that honestly it's the fear of loneliness that's driving it. And so once you sit and hold hand in hand with loneliness, I think it empowers you. And to me, I just feel like, no, this emotion isn't my favorite, but will I continue to stay in a relationship that I do not find healthy for me? No. And I think the Wendy that I used to be would definitely be like, I don't fucking care as long as I'm not alone, And so now that is empowering. Of course, like my next relationship, I really want to work through everything and anything, and want to build a companionship, and with communication, honesty, and trust. But if it doesn't work out, I think that I would let go a lot faster than I have my previous relationships because of the lack of fear that I had. But now it's going to be like a whole new ballgame for me. And I know that I'm living loneliness. And so if I've lived it once, I know I could do it again. Not that I want to, but it's empowering to know that I've done it. And so I know that it's very possible to live a happy, fulfilled life, feeling lonely. Obviously, you'd want those connections, and that's what I feel like human beings search for. And it's beautiful once you find it, and it's blissful and happy and great. So don't be hard on yourself for doing things that you honestly aren't super proud of because of the fact of loneliness. Realize it, acknowledge it, be aware of it, and then really do your very best every day. Do things different and switch that perspective so that you can feel empowered and just always have self-love and love for others. Take those labels down. They serve you, but they definitely also just put so much expectations and restrictions on people, and it's not fair to them and it's not fair to you to continue to feel disappointed by things, expectations that are in your mind that aren't in the reality. It's great to have expectations, but you have to realize that people are different and every single person has lived a different experience. And so definitely communication is key with that in relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm always forever going to mean more than just a partner. It's going to be a friendship, mother and daughter, a father and daughter, like stuff like that. So I really feel good about speaking on loneliness and sharing the truth that I'm going through it, and feeling as though I really just truly have so much faith that this is meant to be right now, because things are meant, in my opinion, things are meant to happen when they're supposed to happen, for reasons, honestly, to help you understand how great you are and how powerful and blessed you are for everything. And so as much as this isn't my favorite term right now, I just think it's such a blessing and it's the most beautiful thing, and I feel empowered to be living it. So I am so grateful. I'm grateful to be able to share this with you, and thank you so much for listening, and continue watching my videos because I have so much more to talk about. Honestly, I love the fact that I speak when things are flowing, because it makes me feel like I'm definitely transmitting just raw information that comes from my heart and just from experiences that I've had. Remember that these are all my opinions. These are all my experiences of life. None of this is saying that you shouldn't do what I do. You guys are living your own journey, your own life. I just like sharing my experiences so that you can definitely have examples of things or people that you see that are maybe going through the same thing you are, and so you can feel compassion for yourself and for other people. Always remember to love hard and enjoy every moment. You are unconditionally loved, unconditionally enough, and unconditionally valued by just being you. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all.